recording.
The only thing is there'll probably be a little bit of background noise at some point because the litter robot goes and it.
Oh, that's
is
right.
loud.
You have a litter robot. That's so cool that you have one of those.
The
Yeah,
iRobot.
I want to be somewhere where like it's not so close to us because I mean this is pretty good space, like living room to kitchen, and it's on the other side of the kitchen, but it's all open. So it just kind of like the sound carries. Like when we're watching something, like that'll turn on and the heat'll turn on, and we're like turning the TV up to compensate.
White noise central.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Nice.
man.
So yeah, there's like no news. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's very light.
Okay.
So you post something Switch related though. So
Yeah, I guess I forgot it. Like I saw it earlier today, but I guess I forgot about it.
One. Recording.
So,
recording.
Recording. Okay.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was like looking up news because I thought it was weirdly light, and yeah, there isn't really anything that we even missed.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it's post GDC, like there should be stuff. But
Yeah,
Well, there was GDC stuff, but it was talks about like unions and stuff like that.
oh,
Some really heavy level stuff that we probably wouldn't understand.
yeah. I mean, I get the union talk. A lot of other places do it, and it's a good thing. But I don't really know about them. I've never been in one.
I've only been in one, and that was like a part-time job that I did for high school, so wasn't really effective for me.
Yeah. One of my friends is in union now. Like he won't take a job that isn't union, but he's at work right now, so he can't exactly join us to talk about it. Because I would like to have him on sometime. Like he's, he has fun opinions and stuff.
Yeah.
Usually we just get onto like a PS4 call and just like chat about random stuff. Like we were talking about the new Smash game last night.
Nice.
Just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is something.
I've got like 3 or 4 other news stories, but they're very light and not much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, Lo could talk about whatever updates Fortnite has coming. Because there's a
I was
Fortnite.
just fixing all the broken shit mostly.
Yeah, I have a.
Which is exciting for me.
Update for that. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the video. Nope, that's not the right. I was gonna say the video game news.
Nailed it.
And he sticks the landing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Charge Shot Gamescast. Each every week, best friends gather around and talk about the shit that's going on in their lives and the games they've been playing. This week, Justin.
Woo! Budget Justin.
And we have Lo.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, you want to talk about your budget little setup or no, Justin?
Sure. So actually soon after the show last week, I think we played, I'll get back to this later, but we played A Way Out.
Yeah, that's right.
Was that Saturday, Sunday, something
I
like
think it was
that?
Sunday.
Yeah, I got that installed. We played a few hours of it. It was really fun. And then I started noticing that night, like I had dinner, I think, and then came back and tried to play some PSP games, like just on an emulator. And because I thought I would go through all the Final Fantasy games. Like I beat 15 recently. I beat 10 like a year or two ago on the HD remaster. I've beaten 8, 6, and 9 for the story plays, and I'm close to the end of 12. So I figured I'd just look up like where the best versions of all the games are and just play through them in order. So I grabbed like pretty much all of the PSP versions of like 1 through 4, I think, because 5 hasn't really been put out that often, and was trying to play through those, and they kept stuttering and like flickering my graphics. Like I would just be playing that and then have it like Netflix up on the other side, on the other monitor. Like that's it. Nothing, not really that much going. And it was like flickering it, and it would like just crash my graphics card, and I'd have to like reload Netflix, and like the game would fail. So I kept just jumping to the next game because I'm like, okay, I have to completely start over. It's really annoying. And yeah, I kept doing that. So I was like, okay, I'm just not going to do PSP stuff right now. Like, apparently, I know the PSP emulator is kind of janky anyway. It's not the first time that, it's like freaked out with my graphics card and everything. But this was like consistently over and over again. And I had just beaten Dawn of Sorrow that morning, like the Castlevania game, and then we played A Way Out. Like, neither of those affected anything. I don't think PSP games are more powerful than that. So I switched over to Final Fantasy 12 and played a little bit more of that, but I was also noticing like some weird graphical stutters there, and like my computer was running kind of hot. Like it was trying to really push to get that game running, and it's a remaster of a PS2 game. Again, not exactly high quality, and like I'd played it for 30 hours with no problems and stuff like that. So I tried to kind of mess around with that stuff a little bit, try to figure out what was going on with my graphic settings. I like updated the drivers, all that stuff. Ended up like I just turned it all off, like opened up the case because I figured cat hair and stuff has gotten in there. It's good to clean it out every now and then anyway.
Yeah.
Got in there, cleaned it all out, and then just like left it off for the night. Because I was like, it's already off. It's like 1 a.m. I'm just gonna go to bed. So I woke up Monday morning, came back in, like turned it back on to see if it was better. Like loaded up the game again. No audio. Like I couldn't hear anything on my computer. Like the sound was just dead on it because it recognized the speakers. Like it showed they were in. It showed my mic was in, but like nothing audio related on my computer was working. And I got back into the game, and not only could I not hear it, but it still was flickering and like having those same weird graphical issues. So I made it worse, apparently.
Womp.
And so I literally spent all of Monday, like, I guess, one benefit of not having a job is just technical support all day, but it's not exactly how I wanted to spend my Monday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I worked on that for a while, didn't do anything to help. I ended up, like, just saying screw it and reinstalling Windows after, like, a bunch of different things that weren't working, because I was like, okay, this worked before, so maybe I just, like, screwed up something, like, with my, PSP downloads or something. I got a virus, I don't know, and it's, like, stopping it. So I'll just redo this. Like, that always resets everything back to, factory, whatever. And booted back up. Like, I lost all of my games, like, not the progress or anything. I just have to re-download them, but it's still a hassle. Lost my Adobe suite that I had installed, everything like that. I had to get all those back on. Still no fix. So, like, I got Premiere back installed. I pulled that up to try to just see if I could, like, edit, like, do something on my computer further in the meantime. Because I could still plug my headphones into my monitor, which has built-in speakers, and hear things that way. But there was a occasional like little chops in the audio. Like it would just kind of do like little bits weirdly. Yeah. And it was kind of annoying. And like I could edit to an extent, but anything that had more than like 1 or 2 effects on it, like that weren't rendered, would just chug the entire thing. So it's like my audio wasn't working, my graphics were faulty, and my CPU and like RAM seemed to be going bad too. So I'm like, okay, not all of these things are going bad at the same time. I got them all at different times, and the GPU is still really new. It's like a year old almost. So it must be my motherboard, which is fun because I looked into that. And for those who don't know, I'm running an AMD build on my computer, and the AM3 Plus chipset. Like if you don't know anything about computers, this is going to be boring to you, but I'm sorry. The AM3 Plus chipset is what I have. And basically that maxes out like at my stuff that I have in it. Because it wasn't top of the line when I got it, but AMD hadn't like refreshed their stuff in a long time. So I just kind of got like the best I could for the money for my, motherboard. And figured, eventually they'll put out, a new set of things and I'll upgrade then. And they have. They've got the AM4 out. That's where all like the Ryzen cards that everyone talks about, like the CPUs. It's totally new and revamped and like, top of the line, like better than Intel cards, all these Ryzen ones. And I've just been kind of waiting to upgrade, but I figured I'd just, for now, like I can't really afford to upgrade anything on my computer, but I figured if I could just get a motherboard, the rest later. Looked at motherboards, and you have to have specific things. Like all, the AM4 chip is all new stuff. So I'd have to, just to make it work, I'd have to get new motherboard, new CPU, and new RAM all at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that was like $400 I have to drop to upgrade my computer and actually make it work to the point it was working like 2 days ago.
Oh man.
So it's been a frustrating week of like not being able to do anything. So I played a lot of games, which is why I was like, hey, can I like just set up my little janky laptop setup and still join you guys, even though it's not going to sound good? Because I'm restless and I haven't done anything except play games all week. And try to fix my computer. But long story short, I did get parts ordered. My wife agreed to just like put it on her credit card and we can pay for it out of savings because I do have a job starting like next week. So I can just kind of, reimburse us over the course of the next few weeks, but actually have it all in now instead of having to wait like a month and not be able to get anything done. Because computers are kind of important. Yeah, and I'm afraid that if it just dies entirely, I won't be able to get any of my stuff off of it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to use it at all. But yeah, so all that stuff is ordered and should be here by Monday. So hopefully next week we'll be back to business as usual, unless there was some other weird issue I'm not sure of. But I don't see why it would be. Theoretically, if you get a new motherboard, everything is better. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
It pulls everything together. Yeah. It's just like on the plus side, cool that you upgraded. But it's like a forced upgrade at the same time. So it's like super frustrating because it kind of like puts a kink in all your production and all that good stuff. But
but ironically, I already said I was taking the week off from Final Fantasy IX story play to get season 2 ready. But I haven't been able to work on season 2 at all. Yeah. So like the first episodes that are coming out next weekend are done because my character isn't in them, so it's fine. But I don't have like really anything past those first 2 episodes ready. So it's going to be a lot once I get everything back up and running. But like I said, I shouldn't be starting my job until probably end of next week, beginning of the week after. So I'm just going to pretty much focus on that all week because I've kind of burnt myself out on playing games for a little while. Although we do have to finish A Way Out. That's like priority number 1 when I'm back up because that game was great. But before I move on to games, for those tech-savvy people that are curious, I don't remember the details of the specifics, honestly, but I got an MSI motherboard that's the B350 line, so like the mid-range, because there's like the 3 kind of tiers of them. One's like just the starter, like you can't really do that much with it as far as expansion and stuff, but it works. The mid-line, like it doesn't allow SLI, linking your graphics cards, but I only have one anyway. Other than that, it's pretty much everything you could possibly need for expansion. Like enough SATA for all of my hard drives and things like that. And then there's the top of the line, like I think the X370 or something like that allows SLI and like a few other chain differences and some higher capacity stuff, but I didn't care about that. So yeah, I got an MSI like B350, whatever. The Ryzen 5 1600X.
Nice. Very nice.
Because the one I was going to get actually like jumped up in price, so there was like literally no difference between the higher, the better card and the one I was planning on getting. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. It's going to be more expensive than I wanted it to be anyway. So go for the better one. And then just an 8 gig Ballistics 2600 megahertz, I think, RAM. So yeah, I'll get another 8 gig in the future, but RAM's weirdly expensive right now. So that was one place I could kind of save a little money with the build.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're all like over $10 a gig. It's impossible to find anything under that.
It's insane.
Like it doesn't even matter like the speed of them. You can find like the 3000s for like the same price or cheaper than like the 2166s. It's weird. But yeah, for anyone's eyes or ears, I guess, that are glossing over at all of this tech talk, games. So yeah, I've played a lot, so I'll let someone else talk for a second, actually.
I'll pass it over to Lo then.
Lot more of Adobe Premiere, just because I've been just It's more freelance work and stuff. It's like I'll finish one video for this lady I work with. She was like, "Oh, I have another one for you." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Money, I like that.
Constant work. It's always good."
Exactly. These last couple, we've been falling into like the sort of like revision sort of like rut where it's just like, okay, how about this one? Okay, nice, but change this one thing. Okay, how about this one? Okay, it's just all these little minor changes and shit. But you know, it's still it's like I said, it's money, and it's nice to be, you know, using my video editing skills for something other than hobbies stuff, I guess. But yeah, a lot of that. And just when I'm not doing work or anything like that, I'm just I was just either like looking for other, just like a part-time job. It's kind of like a part-time gig to kind of supplement the current income. And game wise,
get you out of the house, maybe.
yeah. I mean, I do the Uber Eats thing, but that's just a bunch of sitting around in my car mostly, which is also kind of boring. It's cool, like, because I can like listen to music and like chill or whatever, play like a mobile game or two. But yeah, like something like where I actually go somewhere and like, hey, this is my work. I'm here. This is the place that I work at. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like part of like me misses that sort of. I guess it's more it's more of like a social thing, kind of like a social work environment or something. I don't know. It's
yeah, I get that because I do take my Wednesdays off to go see my my doctor for my diet and stuff, my metabolic diet doctor. But the days that I do go into the office, I'm like the first one there, and I'm like weirdly happy about it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is my routine. Make the pot of coffee so everyone can have a drink of coffee. I'm like, oh yeah, you liking that coffee, huh? I made it.
You're the coffee guy. Nice.
Make my bowl of cereal. Like I like having my own things at my office that I have control over, and no one else bugs me in the morning.
Yeah, that's been my most exciting thing about interviews and stuff, because I've been doing a lot of interviews, which is nice after 6 months of not hearing back from anyone.
Yeah.
But it's like a lot of these office environments where they talk so passionately about like how fun it is to work there, and we're just like, that sounds so nice. Let me work there.
Let me in, please.
Yeah, they're like, we have an on staff therapist if you ever need to just talk. Like,
Man,
we try to have good mental health here, and they have like fresh fruit in the break room. Just go in and grab some fruit on your, on a break, and then couches if you just want to bring in a laptop and work from a couch instead of your desk, and all this little things that just like kind of help quality of life. It's nice.
It's really nice. We have a couch too, and I usually use that for afternoons. Like the morning to lunchtime, I usually use my desk, and then after that, I'm like, all right, time for a little break on the couch. Break up the monotony.
Yeah. Sitting in a cubicle all day. Yeah.
I don't even get that. It's just an open office. I don't like open offices. Sorry.
I do.
I like both.
But yeah.
But yeah, so when I'm not doing all that kind of crap, I mean doing chores, or game wise, it's I'll usually just kind of play something that's like a very little consequence, like something that has like a horde mode or something like that. I'll hop into like Gears of War 4. I was playing a little bit of Sanctum 2 earlier because I had picked it up at some point because I was like, oh, this game's free, and I was like, what is this? Okay, whatever, I'll take it. Put it in the library, Then I forgot about it for like however long. I was like, oh, maybe I should try this game out. I heard it's pretty good. And it's pretty fun. It's basically like a first-person shooter / horde mode / tower defense. So it's like you're plopped on a map, and then you got to keep all the monsters from getting to the thing, and then you just build all these walls and towers and stuff that shoot at the monsters and stuff. It's pretty cool. It gets pretty intense towards the later waves. Very much like a true horde mode, but yeah, just mostly stuff like that. Sanctum 2, Gears of War. Anything else? I actually haven't played Fortnite this week at all, and I was looking at some patch notes earlier, and it was liking what I was seeing, so I might hop into that maybe this weekend.
You put up that video for Project Darwin. How was that?
Oh yeah, Project Darwin. Man, I suck at that game. It's either that or just like the skill ceiling. It's like really high. It's one of those things where like it's a good game. Like when you at the end of the day, it's like a good nice kind of like way to shake up, or a nice little twist on the battle royale. It's a smaller map, you know, you have less contestants. Everybody has the same loadout. Everybody has like a weapon. So yeah, it's just a really interesting game, and I'm just not very good at it. And it's this is one of those things where it's like you just need to invest time and just like learn all like the cool tricks and stuff. Because I would get knocked out almost like within like the first 5-10 minutes, and then I would just spectate. But so I was just spectating, just like watching other players do stuff. I'm like, how is he doing all this stuff that I'm seeing on the screen right now? I don't understand. But cool game. Right now I think there's only solo queuing, but they're going to add duos and squads and stuff at some point. So that should be a bit more interesting, because I'm never really good at this, at running solo. I've done okay maybe once or twice when Battle Royale, Fortnite Battle Royale first came out, but I don't know. Yeah, but
would you boot up Project Darwin again after that, or no? Are you done with it?
Is it that same kind of Battle Royale thing?
Well,
put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's a really good question, because I like because it's
from the video and from what I've seen of other things, it actually does look like it does enough to change up the formula. But like,
yeah,
you two aren't like super into the whole Battle Royale thing, anyways. So
right, I'm not very good.
I did get
like,
to Fortnite Deep this week, though.
Did you?
Oh yeah, that's right. You put that message. Yeah, okay.
Interesting.
But yeah, like what do you think?
Like, it's one of those games where if I had more time, and if like, because I'm weird when it comes to competitive games. Like, if I'm like really in the mood to like play something competitive, I'm like all for it. Then that's when I'll jump into like Paladins or something like that, and then I'll jump into casual. Or really, Paladins was like my go-to competitive game. So I mean, I could see this game being like kind of one of my go-tos, possibly. I don't know. Maybe if they had teams, if they had duos and squads and stuff, that might like change things for me, because I like being part of a team, because I feel like I'm better as working as part of a team rather than lone wolfing it. But yeah, I can see myself playing it again.
Yeah, it's in early access. They might add some more stuff. So
I like the archery. I like arching in games and shooting arrows at people. So that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Justin, you want to share with the Battle Royale stuff?
Sure. So yeah, that's actually a lot of what I've played this week. Because like I said, I kind of had to just like switch to console stuff all week. And ironically, I had a week or maybe 2 ago, I was just laying down to play Ratchet and Clank one night, and one of my friends just sent me a party chat invite, because he likes to just like, you know, hang out and play separate games, but like talk to each other while you're just kind of going around grinding and whatever. And I texted him. I was like, I don't have a headset. Sorry. He's like, oh, okay. And then day before, I guess, a headset showed up in my mailbox. He was like, great birthday present. You'll know what it is when you get it. So conveniently, around the time that I, you know, couldn't really play things on PC anymore, I get a new PS4 headset so I can actually, you know, play stuff with friends on PS4. So that was nice.
That's neat.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I downloaded Fortnite and Warframe, because those are two that he'd kind of been into when we're free, so I could check them out. And so we've been kind of going around in those a little bit. He wasn't a huge fan of Fortnite. He played like one game by himself, and then we jumped in and did a few together. And I actually think I might like that game more alone, because it doesn't really feel as like tactical, like squad based as PlayerUnknown's is.
Yeah,
it's kind of more like campy, like you just, you know, build some stuff, run around, and hide and shoot things. Like I feel like another person can get in the way because there's less materials for you to get and stuff like that.
True.
And I'm not scared of it, like I am Battlegrounds. So I feel like I can just run around and do it myself. Because it's so arcadey. Like if someone just tries to hide somewhere, you just break through the wall and like, you know, Kool-Aid Man them. Like, it's not that bad.
Nice.
I broke into like a little bitty shack thing because I saw a chest in there, and there was a person just like cowering in the corner, like behind the wall I just broke. it was like, oh, hi, and shotgun blasted him in the face.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, he didn't really like that, so I just kind of kept playing it by myself for a while. But we did get into quite a bit of Warframe. We did the first few missions of that, and we'll jump back in another time. But that's a good game to just like. I mean, I played it before quite a bit on PC, but I was kind of teaching him some of the mechanics, like the mods and the Foundry, and some of that weird stuff that I didn't know about at first, and they don't really explain to you very well. So we kind of need to get back into it and go deeper than what I've played before. But it's still fun. Like I really want to check out that new open world map. I want to get to that point. Yeah, that sounds really cool.
It is a very cool map. Yeah,
but I'm doing the Volt loadout this time, like the electric based one, and I really enjoy the powers because you just like go around force lightning everyone. And that's another game where like the bow action is really satisfying. I freaking love the bow in that game.
So good. Yeah. I love arching people in that.
I'm a great archer sniper.
I believe that. You like the slide and then it's so fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that game's it's very much a grind, but it's a nice one. Like if you just have a friend or two that are running with you and you're just like having a conversation about stuff while shooting and killing everything, like it's fine. It's fun to waste time with. But Fortnite actually I don't think I gave it enough credit when it first launched, because I was like, oh, this is just a cutesy version of Battlegrounds. Like there's no difference. It's a smaller map. People die a lot more quickly. Like that's it.
Oh, there's a weird echo going on.
Yeah, what happened?
That's weird. I think that's me. Sorry, hold on.
Pause for edit.
Hello?
Okay,
I think we should be good now.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah?
All right.
Okay, yeah, sounds like it. All right. But I figured out the controls on PS4 and everything, because I hadn't used that before. And it's fairly intuitive. Switching back and forth from the build mode to your weapons is a little wonky. Because some of the build controls, like clicking in to rotate it, and a different button for materials and then a different button for build. And sometimes I have to actually look at the screen for a second to make sure I'm hitting the right button. And that can be the difference between building something or dying. So I need to get that down a little bit. But the building aspect is what I actually enjoy about that game. I probably need to try the PvE stuff and see what's so great about that.
A lot more building in the PvE.
Yeah, definitely. But I see some of these people build, and they're just like stair wall, and they create this huge tower that they just hang out at the top of, and you can't get to it because they block in their stairs with walls as they go, and just create a watchtower for themselves and shoot things off. And how do you build that quickly? That's super impressive. Or they just do the quick I think it's floor, stair, wall, and it's like a barrier to block shots, and then they can go up and down the stairs to shoot and go back, creating their own little hiding place. And it's genius. Those little bitty builds that people have gotten down to a T, and you can just boom, it's done, and then shoot at you. It's super impressive, and I'm never going to get there. But my thing is to drop where no one else is, gather all the where one house is or something like that, and get the basics, a weapon, some shield, whatever is there. Usually not much, but enough. And then just take all the materials in that area, even down to destroying the house itself. And then just air game it. Go from mountain to mountain just with platforms.
Nice.
Almost every time that's gotten me killed, because either I don't realize I run out of materials, so I just keep running and hitting the build button, and then it doesn't build something and I just fall off the edge. Or I go over someone and don't see them, and they shoot me, shoot the platform I'm on from below. Then break it and I fall. But there was one time I got to top 7, I think it was, and was doing some really good builds. I had just gotten to where there were a few of the remaining people were all kind of grouped together in a gaggle, and I had a sniper rifle, so I was okay, I'm gonna take these guys out before they even see me. My controller died.
Oh no!
So I scrambled to get it plugged in and get back into the game, and as soon as I hit the PlayStation button to reconnect the controller, I died. I got killed.
Man.
That was the best I've done, was like top 7, and it was friggin' technicality that I died. But another game I did, like the only other one that really is like kind of cool, I landed in a random spot, like no one found me. It was fine. I got a bunch of good stuff. And then started moving in, and it was like one of the last circles, and I could see some people in the distance. It was like massive builds all over the place, just like Stairway to Heaven on top of Stairway to Heaven all over the place. And there was some people monkeying around on like a mountainside with some stairs going down, just like, you know, shoot, build, like as things were destroyed. And so I was trying to like creep up on them because I had a bush. Like I think it's really funny. Like instead of a ghillie suit in this game, you just get a bush and just like wear it and like go around sneaking into the bush. So yeah, I was in my bush form, and which isn't even my final form, by the way.
That's good.
Nice.
And was like creeping up and like went up their existing like staircase build, which like led into the trees apparently. And so I climbed up into the tree and like just accidentally kind of like ran into the back of some guy that was like hiding in the tree with like one of the guided missiles. He was just like, kind of shooting him that direction and hoping it would go towards someone because they just added that into the game. And like I didn't even notice him until I like smacked into the back of his head. And I was like, "Oh crap!" and just like shot real quick and killed him, and then stole his guided missile launcher.
Nice.
So I was like I was in his spot up in the trees. Everyone else was kind of far enough away, like preoccupied by each other. There was like maybe 8 to 10 people left. And I was trying to figure out the guided rocket launcher and like kind of going around the tree line. It was like they're kind of like ball trees, like there's like bushes kind of in a bunch that created a tree look. It's not like the long slender ones or anything like that. So they're kind of like little platforms, but they're round. And so I hopped around a little bit. I was trying to get to another build so I could just kind of like go up to the mountain to where they are. And I like hit the wrong part of one of the tree branches and fell to my death. I didn't even get to shoot the guided missile. But I got it. That's what's important. And it was a bush. But yeah, like that game's fun. I can definitely see where like I would fall off it just as quickly as I did with PlayerUnknown. But I think the grind there, like the free like achievement type system that you can do, like if you play 10 matches with friends, you like kind of unlock an objective or
cool.
Complete an objective, I guess. So like you complete so many objectives and like it goes towards your score that like levels you up and like gets you some of the customizable items and things like that. Like the way you can get some of that stuff without spending money, there's that free to play pull there that's like, okay, I can do 2 more games and I can get this objective.
Yeah, like it has like dailies and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a good like improvement. Yeah, I should check that out again. My friend and I haven't gotten together yet to play it, but it seems like he's into it, so I want to check that out again.
Yeah, and then last night I tried to play with Metal Blade because I played with my friend a little bit earlier, and then like kind of quit out to do dinner and stuff, and then I came back and I saw Metal Blade was online, like in the game, and I just messaged him on PS4. I was like, "Hey, you want to scout the squad?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing an update right now, but give me a second."
Cool.
So we got his update. We got into the game, and the servers were down.
Oh,
it was like queuing everyone up in matchmaking.
That happens so often. Like
apparently,
you go to start the game, and I'm like, you have to wait for 15 minutes before you can join the game because there's too many people playing right now.
Yeah, and like everyone was complaining about being in a queue, so I think it was just down in general. Like no one was in the game.
I think there was like a moment there where like I didn't pull up any news stories for this, but there was like a huge down time for Fortnite. People were just going crazy because
I follow their Twitter and they're constantly apologizing because they're always having server issues.
It's that Drake and Ninja guy. Those guys busted the servers.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have. Too many people playing your game. I mean,
true. Although servers aren't cheap, so a lot of free people playing your game. Like it's expensive infrastructure. But yeah, sometime I'll play with him and maybe our friend Road Drake if he ever is not working. And we'll get a good squad going, and I'll have a little more to report. But yeah, that game's kind of taken over my week. I think I'm like level 8 or 9, and I got it like 3 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And then just a few more quick notes. I beat Ratchet and Clank this morning, which is cool. That game, like, I was going back through and kind of getting all of the bolts and things like that from the earlier levels to make sure I completely completed it all. And the last level and final boss of that game just suddenly ramps up in difficulty. Because it kind of acts as a stealth section. It's you get this hollow guys, and you have to put that on, but you can't jump or attack or anything with it on. So you have to go through these sections, kind of get access to different places, because they think that you're supposed to be there. So oh yeah, go ahead. And then there's platforming sections where it's you have to time your jumps to when they're not looking, and then turn the hollow guys back on, get into a room, and kind of kill people in a certain order to where they don't sound the alarm, things like that. And then the final boss is just this ridiculous, of course it's it's nefarious, spoilers, but it's nefarious. I mean, it's always nefarious.
What? Spoilers?
The main bad guy with Ratchet and Clank suit. I mean, come on. It's but yeah, it's this big battle where you have your jetpack and you're just flying around, and there's 4 kind of platforms that all have enemies on them. That's where you refill the jetpack and also get health and ammo and everything. There's only really a few kind of longer range weapons that you can actually hit Nefarious with, and they all have pretty limited ammo. Mine were pretty much maxed out, and I still had to constantly go get ammo. And so you're jumping down these platforms real quick, grabbing more ammo, maybe health, refill your jetpack, and then go back up in the air, because if you linger too long on a platform, all the guys that spawn get you. And I kept running into issues where I would push it too long without realizing that my jetpack was about to run out. So just be pew, 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 pew. And then I just start slowly descending. And, you just kind of slowly watch yourself die, because you can't do anything about it. You can't get to a platform, but it doesn't automatically kill you. It just floats down until the death box gets you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spent an hour on that boss battle this morning before I finally beat him. It was just annoying. But that was a fun game. I really enjoy it. And like I said, I've been trying to beat more games. I played through Dawn of Sorrow and beat it 100%, the final, the actual ending. Then Ratchet and Clank, and then I am going to finish 12 when I get my computer back up. That one I thought I would have beaten by now, but yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to play through next, because I've got a lot of games that I still haven't gone through. And I look at I've been playing PS4 all week, and I look at my games, and I'm I don't feel like playing that, and then boot up Fortnite. I'm a moron.
Yeah.
So I need to get through some of these single player games, but I don't know.
I feel you there. Right now I'm in that lull. I finished off South Park, a game I really liked, and now I'm kind of just figuring out what I want to play next, This weekend I kind of just I have EA access on my Xbox, so I kind of just, it's $30 for 6 months. You get access to their vault of games and 10 hours of some of their newer stuff, and Burnout Paradise Remastered was on there. So I just played Burnout for 5 hours one day, because
it didn't burn you out.
Nice. But yeah, Burnout Paradise is still probably the best driving game in just the sense of,
I love that game.
The sense of driving.
Need for Speed Underground, a word with you.
I never played Underground.
Underground is really good.
Oh man, that was my jam back on PS2. I played that constantly. Because it's it was a free roam racing game. It was the first time Need for Speed was free roam, I think. So I just run drive around town collecting stuff so I could get a cooler car. I had my sweet yellow Cobalt with racing stripes, and it wasn't a sports car, but I loved it.
Wait, are you referring to Underground or Most Wanted?
I think it was Underground.
Could you put sick underlights on your car?
Yes.
Then that's probably Underground, because that's all I remember from that game. My cousins played it, and I watched them play it, and that's all I remember.
Because Most Wanted came out before Underground, right?
Most Wanted came later.
Well, Most Wanted...
There were 2, I think.
Yeah, there was 2. There was the reboot post Hot Pursuit.
Yeah.
Which also had a reboot.
Oh, Hot Pursuit's another thing. I played that on PC. Okay.
They were both rebooted at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Need for
series
Speed's
is
confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Burnout Paradise. Burnout Paradise is pretty great. They should probably make another Burnout game.
They should, instead of just yeah.
The like when I first played Burnout Paradise on the 360 back in the day, I couldn't get into it. Like it was, and I came to it much later than if officially came out. But after these years of playing these racing games, like the last one I played was Forza Horizon 3. Going back to Burnout Paradise, there's like no comparison in the way it drives, and like you can take, they're both open world driving games, but you can clearly see the difference of quality of driving versus the like quality of life. In Horizon 3, there's like quality of life things that just makes the game a lot easier to play, like quick travel, like fast travel. Yeah. That's not available in Burnout Paradise, so you have to drive everywhere you go, which I get, like if that's like an artistic choice or whatever, but it's a pain in the ass if you want to redo a race. There is a quick I don't know if it was in the original game, but they, at least in this remaster, they have that option where you can retry a race, but it's kind of hidden. Like you have to do it on the D-pad. It doesn't really tell you. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, like the way like cars crumple, you don't really see that in modern games anymore. It's like car companies are very protective of their brands. They don't want to have their cars destroyed. But in but in like Burnout, they just get completely devastated. Like there's some weird wacky stuff that just doesn't make any sense. Like it's like physics, fuck physics, and they throw it out the window, and you just see these cars get completely fucked up and like do barrel rolls through the air. Sometimes it's pretty great. But yeah, like that's a good Burnout game.
What's your favorite type of event to do in Burnout Paradise? I think I already know.
Probably just the takedowns. Yeah, it's probably the most fun.
Road Rage, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fun.
Just destroying other cars is pretty great. There's some special cars in there, like the like a really bad knockoff DeLorean, like from Back to the Future. There's the Ghostbusters Ecto 1. Yeah,
motorcycles too, right?
Yeah, there's some motorcycles in there, but it's so weird. Like when they crash, there's no rider. Like they immediately just disappear.
Weird.
So like you don't see any of the drivers like fly through the wind, fly through the air. Also, when you're driving cars, there's no one in the car, which is kind of great. They're just like ghost cars. Because
maybe that's to maintain the rating, the E rating or something like that, or whatever it's rated at.
I kind of really like it though, because it's like it's just so weird. Like
I like it too.
There's no one in the car, but you can see the steering wheel like move. It has this like weird cognitive dissonance.
Paradise takes place in Elon Musk's paradise.
There you go.
Self-driving racing cars.
They're all Transformers in Autobot mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. Like that's all I've been playing because I've just been like, I feel like shit. This game's not doing it for me. Let me just have some fun and just smash some cars and do some stuff.
That was always a good. For me, it was my game that I played after a shitty commute home from work. I'm like, cut me off, will ya? Run you off the road to a gas truck. Explosion.
Yeah. Let's see. I've been playing that. I've actually been playing Mass Effect Andromeda for some reason. I don't know why. I just hate myself, I guess. Man, there's this one part of the game where you can run through this part a hell of a lot because it's like between your ship and the hub where you talk to people and stuff. And every time I run by there, I just see like NPCs spawn in T-pose, and it's like, God, I just facepalm every time I run past that part. And I don't know what the hell. My cousins, like, I talked to them last year about this thing, and they're like, "Oh, this game's great. It's probably the best game I played this year." I'm like, I just want to take them by the collar and shake them and be like, "What are you doing?"
Have you played any of the games this year?
Last year was an amazing year for games, and you're saying Andromeda was amazing? Like, get out of my life. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Tried Mirror's Edge, Catalyst. I like the first one, so I'm trying to play through Catalyst. It's not hooking me. It's not getting me the way the first one did.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably just because it's like a once in a lifetime thing. It's like you play it once, and you're like, oh, this is pretty cool. But trying to play something else like it, it's kind of just like, I don't know.
Let's be honest, Mirror's Edge isn't an amazing game. Like the first one, it's an experience. Like you experience it and you're done, and that's all you need. Like it's not a nostalgic like, oh, I should go back to that. I loved it so much. It's fine.
Yep. Yeah, I agree because I tried playing Mirror's Edge the first one again a while back, and I felt like that. I was like, I don't know what I saw in this the first time. Yeah. I played speaking of games we want to complete from our list of games, The Surge. I bought that a while back on sale. I booted that up, played a couple hours today. I like the boot up screen. It's kind of like Watch Dogs-esque, where it has like the BIOS loads up.
Ah, nice.
Watch Dogs 2 rather. Justin knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, I was actually thinking about getting back into that soon too.
It's got a great boot up screen. I kind of just load that game up just to see it. But yeah, Surge is kind of cool. It's like a Dark Souls game. You know, like attack is on the bumpers and the trigger. This one's set in like a sci-fi setting. Yeah, you become a robot man. They operate on you while you're still awake, and then you pass out, and then, well, they drill into your brain, and then you pass out. Yeah. From the pain, I guess. And you wake up, and everyone's a zombie, and like things going to hell. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. I've only played a couple hours of it. I just got to my first boss area, but I'm enjoying the setting of it. And
the setting does look really cool.
Yeah, the setting's cool. You start off in that game, you're in a wheelchair, so that's like kind of your motivation for wanting to get the operation in the first place, so you can walk again. And one of the first things your character says is to this like, I don't know if it's an AI or if it's like just someone on a hologram communication device, and you're just like, hey, the operation was a success, I'm walking again. But there's zombies everywhere, what do I do?
Look on the bright side.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that. You gotta upgrade your frame, your rig, and install parts into you. It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's just like a Dark Souls type game. You lose if you die, you lose your scrap. You have to go collect it again. Stuff like that. I don't know. For other things outside of games, I went to go see Pacific Rim Uprising. I really enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed that movie. I know a lot of people who like the first movie that don't like it, but I didn't like the first movie, so maybe that's why.
I might wait till Blu-ray at this point.
Yeah, sure. I don't blame you. I mean, like you love the first one, and I hear people that
it's not the same without Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah,
we watched The Shape of Water over, I guess it was last weekend.
I still need to watch that.
It's great, and like it just reminded me how good he is. Like I don't think Pacific, like the first Pacific Rim, would have been like one of my favorite movies ever if he hadn't made it. Maybe it's just director bias, but there's just like that flavor he brings to a movie that you can't match just by like redoing the concept with someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's his name? Is it James Boyega?
John
Boyega.
John Boyega.
He's pretty good in it. I liked his
James Boyega.
I was you know what the sad part is? I was actually practicing his name before we started so I wouldn't get it wrong. And I still completely got it wrong.
I like James Bodega though. That's pretty legit.
That would be my actor name.
Yeah, but I think he does a good job in it. I saw a lot of people just didn't like the premise of it, where it's like, oh, there's like this kid from one of the main casts of the last movie that no one talked about, and stuff like that. But I thought he
would have been too young because this is 10 years later.
I think so. I think it's 10 years
something
later.
Like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he would have been a kid. I think I forget his name. Pentecost, something like that.
Yeah.
I think he would have I think he mentioned a child at home that he's protecting.
Yeah. They do mention that like they used kid soldiers for a while, and it just kind of reminded me more of like Attack on Titan because they're all kids. The reasoning behind it is that when you're a child, you establish a stronger connection than when you're older. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a simple action flick. I thought the writing was a little bit stronger in this one, but like that's probably blasphemous. Because I remember I predicted everything that happened in the first Pacific Rim Uprising. So like I kind of just, I don't know, thought it was way too predictable. And this one, there's a swerve, and you know it's coming, and you can see it coming, but it's not completely predictable.
I mean, Guillermo del Toro is not a great writer. I'll give him that. Like, A Shape of Water is a very paint by numbers plot line, but it's the way he makes a movie that I think makes it different. Whereas like this, still, from what I've heard, not a great script, but also just kind of like a generic action movie on top of it.
Yeah. The action's good. Like, it still has great action. Like, the first one had pretty good action. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. That's all I can say.
I'm sure I'll like it. I have low expectations at this point. And I was hyping it up for months before. Granted, if I had money, I probably would have seen it opening weekend anyway. But it's kind of like now I'm trying to pick. Like I didn't see Tomb Raider either yet.
Yeah,
we're going to see Ready Player One tomorrow. So
let me know how that is. I might go check that out.
Yeah, that's the one. I was like, we can't miss this, right? She's like, yeah, that's fine. We have a gift card still from Christmas, like with some money on it for the theater, and so it'll help. But
seems like the ultimate gaming crossover flick.
Yeah,
it's not just
I love the book. People trash it, but I love the book.
Yeah, I don't know what their deal is. Like, maybe they just don't like 80s stuff. I don't know.
The problem is, if this whole concept and book and like adaptation and everything came out in the 80s, it would have been like a huge thing, because it's like, oh, like the underdog, like the nerd that no one likes is like in the forefront of this. But now it's like, oh, everyone's a nerd. What's the big deal? Like, do something different with this movie. Like, tell a story that hasn't been told before. It's like, no, it's just about nerd culture. Let it be.
Yeah,
like, just have fun. Stop overanalyzing everything.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's about it for me. Not a whole lot. You guys got any plans for the long weekend? No.
No, not
Go to see family.
Just nice.
Yeah, we used to do stuff for Easter. We'd just go over to our cousins, and they would have like Easter hunts and stuff like that. But I don't know if we're doing anything this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the youngest kid in my family now is like 13, I think. So I don't know if we'll do an Easter egg hunt, but we got to split all the holidays now. So we're doing like brunch with Brooke's family, and then going down to see my family in the afternoon.
Oh yeah. I've been thinking about joining a book club for some reason. I don't know why. I think it's just because I miss reading books, and also I want to be a little bit more sociable. So the public library is hosting like a bunch of book reading clubs. I might join.
Oh, that's cool.
They do it like once a month. I don't know. I'm just spitballing things here before we end the show.
But then you'd have to actually like commit yourself to read a book every month.
I think I could do it once a month. It's only 12 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also said you were going to eat healthy, and then you had pizza 3 times this week.
I only had it once. Thank you very much.
Are you sure?
I usually have it once a week. Yeah, I'm very sure.
Did you black out and have a coma pizza?
Yeah, I had a coma pizza, not a pizza coma. Shut up. I like pizza.
Hey, I love pizza.
No,
right.
Yeah, pizza's great. You've actually kind of making me want pizza, but again, trying to save money. Yeah, we've been trying to think about similar things. Like, we've been joking we need to find couple friends because, like, for one, all my friends moved away.
Yeah.
So, like, like I said, we've been talking on PS4 and stuff like that, but it's not the same. We need people here.
Yeah.
And like, single friends never really want to hang out with married couples. Like they'll talk to you, and it's like, oh yeah, we should hang out sometime, but then it never happens. So like we just need to find couple friends, and
or
like,
you could get your single friends and hook them up with somebody that you know, and then you have couple friends.
That never works either, though. And then like they break up, and like you can't hang out with them together, and it's just awkward.
True. Yeah.
Then you have to pick sides.
Right. It's not good. And plus, a lot of my friends are gay, and like they're really picky. But yeah, Brooke's been looking at the Reddit for the city. Like apparently cities have Reddits, subreddits, whatever.
That's a thing. Yeah.
And seeing like people that'll get together at the local like board game shop and play D&D and other tabletop games and stuff. And like that could be fun, but I don't want to like go to an establishment to play things. You know, like they only host those things because they assume you'll buy something. And so they're just like lingering around you while you're trying to have fun. It's like, I get that you want to make sure, you know, that like you're compatible with the people that you're hanging out with and no one's a serial killer or like going to rob you after they leave or whatever. Yeah. Like, oh, now we know their address and their weak points. Because I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me when I was robbed. Because my brother would invite friends over all the time and they knew exactly where my stuff was. And yeah. Anyway, beside the point, I don't want to talk about being robbed.
Yeah.
And so like we just want to do something like, you know, get on that group and be like, hey, so first of all, we're not swingers, because I feel like you always have to lead with that.
Hey, man, it's Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. Secondly, we're not, like, we're kind of homebodies, so, like, you know, we'd love to get together with some people, but, like, you know, maybe go out, like, get dinner or something. Again, we're not swingers. Like, meet some more public to get to know each other, but then, like, do, like, you know, game stuff, like, at a house. Because it's just more comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, we could host it. I have no problem hosting things we have before. But I just don't want to, like, go somewhere every week to go see people. Like, you can't, like, you can go do things, that's fine. But to make that the only way you see is, like, just kind of silly to me. So, yeah, we've been kind of thinking about that stuff now that we know we're staying. Because we were thinking about moving, but now we're not. So it's like, okay, we got to figure out what we're doing now. But, yeah, like, being in this house all the time has, like, made me really restless. I'm like, okay, we have to do something.
Yeah,
so I get it.
Yeah, I've actually thought about maybe making my own club and having like renting out a public space or something for once a month. But I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but I think it could be cool because there's nothing like that. There's no like game night thing in Newmarket. Yeah, I don't know. I tried doing something in university and that never ever worked.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, someone's got to do it. Like I said, I didn't know people did that, but apparently there's a whole group of them, and they just hang out at Valhalla's Gate, like the local place. That's actually not even that far away from our house. I'm just lazy, and it's kind of an awkward space. Like I've been in there to look at games and stuff, but they have a few tables laid out, and you never really know if there's going to be room when you get there, and it's just, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I know there's room in my house. Plus cute cats that are always wanting attention.
Yeah.
And except when I want to bring them over here, apparently. So, yeah, like, but you never really know if that stuff's happening until you either look into it or just do it yourself and then suddenly get a bunch of interest. Like, I wanted to play D&D for a while, and I, like, went to the D&D Reddit, and I was like, hey, anyone, you know, want to get a game together? And suddenly it was like, oh, yeah, I'll play with you. Like, had a whole, like, more than a team in like less than a day. So there's always people out there that want to do stuff. You just have to take the initiative.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. What do you guys, Justin? Where can people find your stuff?
Whenever I'm back up and running, it's still there, I guess, technically. I am Zero Score on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, things like that. Nothing makes you want to stream more than not being able to. So I did like one stream like last week or something like that. I played some Majora's Mask 3D just because I felt like playing that game and I was like, I'll go live with it. Why not? And like I wanted to get back into it, but my PC doesn't work. My laptop isn't really good enough to do that stuff. I can record okay on it, just like, to the consoles and stuff that are out here, but it's not great. So yeah, I've been wanting to stream more now that I can't. So maybe once I get my computer back up and running and it's like a beefcake, I'll try to do more streaming. But mostly Twitter and YouTube. like I said, Final Fantasy IX will be back with the second disc. I also have the Top Metroidvanias video out, which is pretty great. Lo can attest to that.
Yes, I can.
And some other stuff in the works. A few old videos I'll just shout out real quick because they've been randomly getting more attention. The underrated GBA games and the underrated DS games have like just found a new audience. I've brought in like at least a dozen or maybe 24 subscribers in the past few months.
Nice.
And like those videos are both like over a couple thousand views, and I have no idea where it's coming from. So yeah, maybe go check those out because apparently they're like making the rounds right now. And I'm really happy with. I'm really proud of those. So I'm glad they're getting found. Unlike the Spider-Man video that I did, like was one of my first videos, and like a year ago got really popular, and so people were talking about this video that wasn't even good. And I was like, how did you find this? But these I'm fine with people finding. Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Nice.
I ramble.
No, that's good. Lo, where can the people find your stuff?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at Near the Hero N3R0 THEH3R0. You can also find me on YouTube, Near the Hero with letters, and every week here with the Charge Shot Boys.
And you can find me, your host Thomas, at CSG Twitter CSG Thomas on Twitter. I wonder if CSG Twitter is taken.
CSG Twitter on Thomas.
I'm not going to share.
Thomas.com for all your Thomas needs.
Man, I wish I owned Thomas.com. That'd be awesome.
I'm not going to look that up.
No.
It's probably just some German photographer.
It's generally it's porn.
Is that what's over at Justin.com?
Probably. I mean,
Your guess is as good as mine.
Justin.com. That sounds like porn.
Just-in.com even.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Wonderful.
You can also find us at charshot.com. That's where all your videos and podcasts and articles about us are. And you can also email me, Thomas at charshot.com. And so then, guys, enjoy your games.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I can't believe the Spice Girls is actually being rebooted. Like they have a TV show for superhero women. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I can't believe I looked up that many. I have like at least 6 pictures of Spice Girls saved on my computer now.
It's pretty great,
and I'm not okay with that. But luckily, it's going to be so no one will ever. I made that bad on purpose, by the way.
Oh boy. Alright. Hello everyone, welcome to the Video Game Newsy News Show hosted by your host Thomas and .com. And Justin.com is here to tell you all about your Spice Girls needs.
I'll tell you what you want, what you really, really want. I had to think about the lyrics for a second.
Yeah, it's okay. Me and Ben sang a little bit of Spice Girls over on your show, so.
Oh, good. I look forward to that.
Lo, what are you? We also have Lo. I was gonna say, how are you doing, Lo?
I'm doing well, thank you, and also hi everyone.
That was the whitest you've ever sounded. I am doing quite well today, thank you.
Oh, hey, neighbor.
Oh, God. I'm just imagining you, like, cosplaying as Ned Flanders now for some reason. Be really weird. Today we are not talking about the Spice Girls. We're talking about video games. So, let's start off with some Fortnite updates. Lo, what's the latest on the Fortnite?
Let's see. Fortnite updates. Battle Royale, I don't know because I don't really care. I never look at the Battle Royale patch notes. There.
I have a few.
What's that? Oh, you have a few?
Okay. Battle Royale. There was a new weapon, the guided missile launcher, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
A new mode. I don't know if it's in this update, but I did just notice it. It's a snipers only mode, which sounds actually pretty cool.
That's cool.
And just some, some regular like technical patch things. I didn't look into those two specifically, but the features are mostly the weapon. Some new customizable stuff. I didn't get too deep into that, and then the new mode.
Good stuff. And on the Save the World end, aka the mode that nobody cares about, they added a new controller configuration, the Combat Pro, which is actually from Battle Royale. So apparently for controller users, it's a lot easier. So that's cool. And then just a couple, as far as like gameplay changes, sprinting used to cost energy. You'd have a stamina gauge, and whenever you'd sprint, it would just continuously drain it. Now that's not a thing anymore because your stamina is also tied to your abilities. And if you run out of stamina, you can't use your abilities. So a lot of people are complaining about that. So they changed it. And so that's cool. And as well as that, whenever you die, there's a thing because your weapons have durability. So you would take like a hit to your durability. So when your weapon breaks, it just breaks. You have to like make a new one. Otherwise, you're SOL. So when you die now, there's no penalty for that. Other than that, they've just added some seasonal stuff. I feel like Fortnite Save the World is becoming more of just like events and things. It started out kind of having an actual like story to it, and then it just kind of tapered off the farther along you get into the game. So now they're just kind of doing various events and stuff like that. But the patch notes are significantly longer than they usually are, so that's cool. Fixing bugs and things, and there's just always bugs that need to be squashed. But yeah, no new weapons that I've seen. There is a hoverboard that was introduced a while back, which is pretty fun to zip around on. It's just another way of getting around. You do a little quest, you get a schematic for it, you build it, off you go.
Yeah, they've also like added improvements to the console to crossplay, so you can add and remove friends via the Epic Friends. So
Epic Friends,
yeah, Epic Friends. I've got my Epic Friends. I
was so confused about that when I loaded up the game. So I was like, "What are Epic Friends?"
They're your favorites.
Best friends to have.
It seems like Epic Games is really pushing to have everybody be crossplay, and we're just waiting on Sony.
I like that though.
It's like they have the most popular game ever in this generation, so they're trying to make everyone play nice together now, I guess.
Yeah, someone had to do it at some point, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting because I was honestly I was really concerned about the PvE for a while because that was why I originally jumped into the game. But then when Battle Royale like started, I was like, oh no, it's all over. Oh, it's over, it's done. They're gonna close the doors, they're gonna stop working on it and everything. But now that like Battle Royale is, I guess, for lack of a better term, more stabilized, I guess, because I don't think they were expecting it to be this huge.
No.
At all. So now that things are kind of stabilized, I guess, and there's things are less chaotic, it seems like they're devoting an equal amount of attention to both modes, which is great. That's awesome, and that's cool, and it makes me less salty. So
what do you think the next update's going to be? It's probably going to be another seasonal thing, like a summer bash.
Yeah.
Thing maybe.
Probably, yeah, it's a seasonal thing. And one nice thing that I like, one thing I do like that they added seasonal currency. So it's currency that the only way you can get it though is by playing missions. You can't pay real life money for it. You can only get it from just playing missions, and every mission that you play, you accrue like a small amount. You can just use it to like buy specific things, and that's pretty cool. It's like gives people a reason to like jump back into the game. Oh, play a few missions, get a few points. Maybe I can afford something this time. Maybe I can't. So, because for a while it was just the premium currency, and the only thing you got with those is loot boxes, and that's not that great. So it's they're kind of differentiating it a little bit. So that's cool.
One question for the I guess the Battle Royale mode is when you pick a character, like, do you pick a character and customize them? Because I remember before you couldn't customize your character, and it would always be random whenever you go
in. There are skins that you can get. Like, that's one of the customization things you kind of unlock as you go.
Yeah.
The only thing I have, like, there's the default, which is just like, I think that's the randomized thing.
Okay.
But then there's the I got like a free PlayStation skin That's like the one girl, like the ponytail girl, with like a blue and white shirt and coloration that kind of matches a PlayStation look. And it's cool. Like, it's fine. I don't need anything else. But I do see some people with really cool customized skins, and they always have the same thing because they've picked that one. Okay. But I think if you just do the default, it randomizes you.
All right. That's good to know. Speaking of updates, we have No Man's Sky. Remember No Man's Sky? Well, it's coming with No Man's Sky Next. They just teased the update along with the announcement that it's coming to Xbox One. And they kind of just got ahead of it and announced it because they said, well, this is going to leak anyway, so you might as well hear it from us. Because they've been super quiet ever since that game announced.
I wonder why.
So yeah, look forward to more from No Man's Sky. It's supposed to be one of the biggest updates that they've ever done, which is saying a lot because they have like put a lot of work into that game. But
you know,
we'll see.
It's that game is really interesting because like I feel like all of that drama and BS could have been avoided if they had just been like, well, the game's gonna release like this, but we're gonna add stuff as time goes on. Like that's all they would have had to have done is just communicate that. But then you got the people that are just like, oh, No Man's lie, they lied to us, because they did. But I mean, at the same time,
they just said way too much. Like they were a little too much with their communication. So yeah, that's why they're taking the opposite extreme and have just not said anything. Yeah,
it's probably for the best.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably for the best. But yeah, look forward to seeing more of what the new update's going to come. Whether that's going to be a paid expansion pack or just a free update, we'll see. Who knows? Like. I'm not saying that it's going to be. I'm just saying we have no information on it. That's all.
I'm hoping it's free.
Yeah. Other updates, Sea of Thieves. They had a planned announcement to have a death penalty in the game because currently there isn't one other than just waiting to respawn. But they were talking about adding in a death tax. They say. You lose money for whenever you're killed by a thing in the game. It didn't include PvP, but their community was kind of outraged about this and saying it's you're kind of destroying like the sandbox element of it. Like we can't fuck around and like try, grief our friends because like I do that too. I shoot my friends in games. It's one that's really fun.
Yeah, if you know there's no consequence, it's like, oh, haha.
Yeah, exactly.
That sucks for you.
Except for Low, he just kills you if there is a consequence or not.
Yeah.
Not on purpose.
Yeah, it sounds like they're listening to the community and they're not going to implement this death tax, which could be a good thing to show that they're going to be working with their community on things coming in the future. Because... they really need to work on that to bring someone like me in. Like I haven't even booted it up since I last tried it. Like I said, the only thing there for me is to try it with matchmaking and see if I enjoy that more or not. Going back to Fortnite real quick. Did you guys realize that Fortnite is taking over the schools everywhere?
It's not surprising.
No, not surprising at all.
This news story here is that a high school I think it's a high school teacher, but a teacher wrote into Epic Games and on the forum saying if they could tell. He says, "First, I love your game. My friends from college and I play pretty much every night. One problem since mobile came out, my students won't stop playing in class. I don't know if it's possible, but I told them I'd write you, and they didn't believe me. Could you add this to the loading screen for a couple of days with them to mess with them? Mr. Hillman says stop playing in class." So that's the message. And Epic Games took that exact word for word and put it in their loading screen. Saying,
that's awesome.
So it shows sometimes Mr. Hillman says stop playing in class. It's pretty neat.
Wonderful.
I don't think it'll work, but like it's kind of neat that they're
It's like an inside meta joke type of joke.
Yeah,
I like those.
What's some stuff that you like? I kind of wanted to open this up to this talk about like what kind of stuff would you like play in school or play in class while teachers weren't looking? Because I had like I had some people in my class that played with Game Boys and stuff. I would always play with my Tamagotchi, and that actually got confiscated one day, and I snuck back into the teacher's class and I stole it and put it in my bag. But then it started like chirping, and the teacher caught me stealing it back, and they found it in my bag, and they were like super pissed off about it and made me write lines.
Wow. I never brought like game consoles or anything to school. I mean, like I would take my stuff on like choir trips and stuff when I was going to be on the bus for a long time, but I wouldn't have them in school. I like loaded games onto my my TI calculator and did stuff that way, like Phoenix and like Pac-Man, Frogger, those kind of things. Cool. It was like a cool, like it was nothing amazing, but it was a cool like Zelda demo that they had built into a TI calculator. It was just like one like a level and like a dungeon or whatever. But I mean, it was Zelda. Like it was full on like kind of Link's Awakening type, like obviously black and white Zelda. And there's a few little things like that I remember. There was like a block game. It's kind of like Box Boy that's on the 3DS stuff. It was like kind of a TI version of that. And a lot of times I would just like, it was always on my TI calculator because it was like the most advanced thing I had with me in school because that was before smartphones because I'm old. Fun fact, the first Android phone came out my freshman year of college.
Wow.
It's only been 10 years of smartphones. Anyway, and so yeah, I would pull up my TI calculator and like type on it. Like I would go through the whole process of like, hitting like the alpha key and like looking at like which key was where, and I would like type short story ideas that I had in my head. I would type them during class, and then when I got home, I would transcribe them to my computer and like flesh them out more.
Oh wow!
Because like things would just come to me, and like I'd be sitting in class not paying attention. I'm like, okay, I have to write this down, like just an outline of it. So yeah, I didn't play so much as I did just like get distracted and write things down.
That's cool. Nice. Did you do any gaming in school behind teachers' backs?
No, I was usually doodling in my notes. Like I was taking my notes, but I was also like drawing stuff in the margins and stuff. So like whenever like it was one of those things, oh, okay, turn in your papers, and then like I turn in my shit with like kind of like drawings and stuff, like robots and like knights fighting each other. And it's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, well, this is the only way I can pay attention because you're boring. But game wise, it was actually funny because when I was in high school, I was in like my group of friends that I had. One of us got a GameCube, and he like actually there on certain days he would legitimately bring it to school and set it up during lunch, and we'd play Smash Brothers Melee, and it was actually pretty cool because it was like because it was hung out in the classroom anyways, so it was just like. I don't want to socialize with all those people out there. High school kids are stupid. So, yeah, we ended up playing Melee, and it was funny because that's just from those couple of times of me playing Melee. I didn't have a GameCube or anything at the time, and like I'd never played Melee before. So I was like, okay, well, I guess this is my chance to practice. So I'd always main Link. So I'm just like, okay, how different can you be? So it was funny because everyone would always talk shit on me because I would always main Link. It's like, no, don't pick Link. He's dumb. He's slow. I'm like, man, watch me.
Good character. Well, Toon Link is a good character, or Young Link, I guess, in that one.
Young Link, yeah. Young Link is pretty solid. I actually got pretty good with Adult Link for a while because like, yeah, he's slower, but like if you like know when to like use like your moves, like it doesn't matter. Like I used to go up against like my brother, and he was like a really, really solid Fox player, like almost annoying. like he was so good. And I would give him a run for his money. We get down, we usually do like a stock 5 or something, but I get him down to like his like 1 or 2. So yeah, I would run in the middle of the pack type of thing. But yeah, it was mostly Smash Brothers, interestingly enough. But yeah, I did have a GBA, but I didn't really actually ever use it during class. That was more of a like just like as I was waiting for the bus, or if I was just like, you know, chilling in the park or something like that.
Yeah, like lunchtime we would play that.
Yeah.
But choir trips, Mario Kart Super Circuit, that was my jam. I 100% did that game just because I went on like choir on school trips so much, and like I didn't want to talk to people. I would just grind through those super hard like 150cc, getting like all 3 stars or whatever. Like basically getting all the coins and like a certain amount of coins in every race, and also getting first on every single race, not just gold overall. I 3-starred that entire game, and you don't get anything for it. Fun fact.
What?
Great.
Yeah, that was before the age of trophies and stuff. So it's just like, good job.
You did it.
You just get a congratulations screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Another thing that we did during, I don't know if it was really during class, but it was like whenever there was downtime in our class, because we had a computer in our classroom in grade 6, middle school. And that's kind of where I first learned about Neopets. So,
Neopets.
And oddly enough, it wasn't the girls that were like doing that. It was the guys playing Neopets. But yeah, like that's where I got introduced to that, and I played that. But I also got introduced to porn there too. They would go on porn sites as well as Neopets at the same time. Because I went to school.
That's how furries are born. You cross the streams of Neopets and porn, and
guys, we're onto something here. We should mash these two together and see what happens.
Oddly enough, it was
confused right now.
Oddly enough, it was like the weird like goat porn stuff that they were looking at. So you guys probably aren't wrong.
Let us know, man.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Transition from that.
I love Thomas lore. I love with these little tidbits of.
Like this is stuff like I've forgotten, and then I just remember while we do this show. It's like therapy.
But it's all chronicled on Thomas.com.
Dragon Quest XI PS4 and PC release date has been announced. Switch coming much later.
That transition.
No 3D. Dude. What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Speaking of furries,
is Dragon Quest about furries?
It's not about furries.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure there's something that is furry in the game at some point.
Tell me there's no furries in Dragon Quest.
Sure, it's a stretch. Sure, you're reaching, but you're reaching with intention.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to say?
Not causation.
What do you want to say about Dragon Quest, other than it's coming?
I've never been a huge Dragon Quest fan. Like, I feel like it was always the, Final Fantasy versus Dragon Quest. Like, as far as audiences, I'm sure there's a lot of overlap with them because they're both Square RPGs and everything. But
yeah,
to me, like growing up, it was the side view battles versus the front view battles. And like, I used a lot of RPG Maker, like RPG Maker 2000 specifically, when I was a kid. And it was always that Dragon Quest style, like you just see the monsters, you don't see the characters type battles, and like the animations are really simple because it's like across the front of the enemy and stuff like that, because it's just easier to code that way and like create the animations and stuff. And I never liked that because like to me, like you get attached to the characters and you don't even see them in battle.
Yeah.
So like I never really got into Dragon Quest because it was always like that. But I know the newer ones, they kind of have more dynamic camera angles and stuff. So I've seen some video from this one, and it looks really good. So I might have to check it out. But it's kind of more of a traditional, like, there's no cool, like battle gimmicks like in the different Final Fantasy games. And the only thing I've seen as far as like some interesting outside of combat, like upgrade type systems, is in like the Dragon Quest Monsters series, where you kind of have a Pokemon game outside of it. So it feels very like a generic RPG. I don't mean that in a bad way at all. Like, RPGs are very popular and have an audience, but I like things that are a little unique. Like the Sphere Grid and Final Fantasy X and things like that like some people would get annoyed by, but I enjoy. So like I'm curious to check this out, but I'm not sure it'll stick to me when it finally comes out.
Yeah, there was just something off about front-facing RPGs in back in the day. It just felt like this was completely wrong, and like this should not exist. Like RPGs are not meant to be this way.
Yeah. It was that era of like 3D dungeon crawlers on like SNES and stuff where the 3D was in quotes.
Yeah.
And like it was fine for those because it's like you're running in first person and you're just coming up to an enemy and it's just there in your face. Like that makes sense.
It's so weird.
You never see the character, but when you're running around as the character and then it goes into battle and it's first person, there's a disconnect in the style of the game to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm moving on. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon creative director leaves Ubisoft after his latest project is cancelled. Low.
Oh, me?
Yes, you put this in here.
Oh, the other Low.
Yes.
Get over here.
The other Low. Get out of here.
White Low.
Okay, guys, I guess I'll see you later then. Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to this story. Dean Evans, I guess he was working on some projects over at Ubisoft. They got canceled, and then he said, screw this, I'm out. So he wants to work on other stuff. And what really caught my eye about this particular article is just the fact that he was involved with Blood Dragon, which is probably my favorite Far Cry game.
And the amount of cursing that's in this article, quoted by him.
Yeah, he sounds like he had a bad week.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So it sounds like he's had enough, and yeah, it sounds like he's trying to move on to bigger and better things, quote unquote. Hopefully it works out, because like I said, I really like Blood Dragon. I'd love to see like a spiritual successor or something like that, maybe with less Far Cry filler nonsense. But yeah, I don't know. I think this could be a good thing. It's always like, I guess it depends on the situation, but it's usually like a mixed feelings that come with like when somebody leaves a development studio or something like that. It's like, oh, they've just been there for so long and they worked on all these cool games, but then at the same time, who knows? Maybe this could be a very, very, very good thing. But yeah, it does sound like he had a pretty bad week though. So hopefully it gets better after this.
Yeah, what catches my eye about this is the kind of work he wants to make. Because I always find like people that are kind of stuck in like the same industry, which I kind of consider Ubisoft, because they definitely have a formula to their games, and they go outside of that and like they just want to go crazy with whatever they do next because they're like, I'm not tethered to anything.
Yeah.
And so he says, I'm a big believer that the future is not games we as creators make, but that we create virtual worlds and give tools and systems to players, and they'll make infinite amounts of games. We're going to build spaces for players not just to play in, but to exist in. You'll see it. In 10 years, digital existence is going to be as important as your virtual existence. Which I feel like those are the same thing, but whatever. The point is, he basically wants to make something like Dreams, which I think we need more of. Those tools. Like, Project Spark was a great idea, terrible follow-through. We need some more things like that. So yeah, that idea excites me, but he's not going to do it on his own. If he makes his own studio and tries to just do this, like it's too ambitious.
Yeah, it's very risky. He's going to make the Matrix, guys. He's going to make it. Just plug your brain into the system.
I mean, I am ready for the Ready Player One world. Let me be Zero.
How cool would that be?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give up on transitions. We've got Outlast 2 PC patch reinstates scenes that were cut to avoid adult-only rating. So Outlast 2 is getting a new story mode that will make the game much easier, as well as adding in scenes that were cut from the PC release that would have made it an adult-only game. Red Barrels, the developers, have said we've taken the opportunity to reinsert some of the things that we had to remove from the original game in order to get an M rating. These changes are not drastic in our opinion and do not impact gameplay, but they had to be made to avoid an adult rating.
I like the idea of a ritualistic orgy. That sounds fun.
Yeah, that's not too extreme at all. That's not too crazy.
Oh, and it doesn't affect gameplay. You can choose if you want to partake or not.
Is that the only scene that caused them to get an AO?
I don't know. It says due to sexual violence, specifically a ritualistic orgy. That's the only thing it lists.
Okay, I might have to start from scratch then in order to get this ritualistic orgy.
I would actually be intrigued with the story mode in this game because I played the demo and it was fine.
Yeah,
I am notoriously not a huge fan of the first game because it scared me, and I don't like to be scared. But the second one felt like a little too like supernatural in nature and stuff. But a story mode sounds like it would just kind of be more of like a walking simulator almost because there's less enemies.
Yeah,
they notice you a lot less, so like you can just run around and like do stuff more rather than constantly worrying about being caught and like chased and all that stuff. And I don't like that. I don't enjoy the chase. But I like the world that they create because that Outlast mansion is fantastic. And like I would just find myself like, you know, when I felt safe wandering around and like trying to understand what was going on. But I didn't enjoy playing the game, so you know what's the point? But
yeah,
the story mode might get me in.
That's actually that's fairly neat. Like for people who say a game is too scary, like Justin, so they don't play it, which is kind of weird. Whenever I hear criticisms like that, and I know it's not negative, it's just like, well, yeah, that's what they're going for, right?
I mean, I'm sure it's a perfectly good game. I mean, I bought the first one.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to spend my money again on something that I knew I wouldn't play.
Exactly. And I think like more horror games should have something like that, because like it doesn't deter the audience that will initially want to play. It just adds in another element that allows in a whole new audience.
Right. What about like a spectator mode where it's like I know that's basically a let's play, but like you watch someone just like, you know, you have full control of the camera and everything, but you're like a specter, just kind of like watching someone go through the game, like inside the game. So like you still buy it, and like you aren't being actually scared by this stuff, but you're kind of like a willing participant following along with it. You just can't be killed or anything. I think that would be interesting.
It's like a next level of I think it was Parasite Eve, the one where you just watch the character and you tell them what to do. That would be cool if they took like an element like that and then like applied what you just said to it. That would be a pretty cool idea for a game.
Yeah. Kind of like you're watching an on rails experience, but you can move.
Lo, what do you think? Would you be more inclined to play something that's not that takes out the spooks? No.
Nope. Hard pass.
Horror is just not your thing.
I can barely play Resident Evil, dude.
And you get rocket launchers in that game.
Yeah. Also, Fear. I still need to finish Fear 2.
Fear's not that. Oh my god.
Fear's not that scary. Actually, I actually really like that game
because you get slow-mo abilities and you just blast people. I don't know. Like,
I'm not sure why I even stopped playing that. I should finish that because that game was really fun. It was a really good shooter. But
Fear 3 is literally just like co-op level complete. Like you just play through a chunk of a level co-op and just destroy enemies. Your co-op partner is your dead brother who's a ghost, and you just possess things.
Nice.
I played that with my dad. I was a little bit disappointed in Fear 3, but like it's a fun co-op shooter. Lego The Incredibles announced, first gameplay details revealed. Who saw this one coming, guys?
It was leaked for like weeks before this, so I did.
Okay, well, I actually didn't even know about this until I went on to Steam and looked at the Lego listings. I was like, what the hell? Incredibles? What is this? Shit.
Even though I had already posted it in the forum.
Yeah, I don't look at those until the day of, so.
Clearly. But yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of weird that it's only after, you know, with 2 movies, but I feel like the worlds that they're going to let you explore and stuff is going to make it worth it. Because just picture like being these characters, like running around in the Incredibles city, like whatever that city's called. That sounds super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. My time with Lego games has come and passed. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of ones that I played before, Lego games, they kind of feel sort of samey after a while. So as long as they can do something to sort of break that up and like just make it more fun and just make more just like a different feel of a game, then I can definitely see that, because the world of the Incredibles has always been one that's really interesting to me.
Yeah. That's what intrigues me the most, because it says there's new side quests and missions that aren't part of the movies that were designed in partnership with Pixar. So it makes me feel like it's going to actually flesh out the world of the movies, like in a canon, Pixar approved way.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting for Incredibles 2 forever just to get more from these characters and like the world they're in. So if it gets even more in the game, that's like could actually have an effect. Like, it's kind of tangential to Incredibles 2, but like they reference or something. Like, oh, remember this mission that we did? Like, you play that mission in the game. Like, that'd be super cool.
Yeah, I'd like that.
But, I don't know. Like, I haven't gotten into a Lego game in a while either. I think it was like the first Lego Marvel game. And I was actually kind of curious about the last one, just because all the kind of funny guys have voices in it. And I wanted to hear who they play, but I'll wait until it gets super cheap. But this is one I'm really actually curious about. It's the first time like there's been a licensed one that I've cared about.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. I remember. Are you guys looking forward to the sequel of The Incredibles? It's been so long.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody's been wanting this for so long.
I'm just upset that it's not like years later. I want the kids to be teenagers and dealing with new problems, but it takes place literally right after the first one, and that seems like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the second movie in series for Pixar can be hit or miss.
That's true.
So I mean, if this just reinvigorates the franchise and then we get a third one, that's what I want. Kind of like how Toy Story 2 was kind of a rehash of Toy Story 1, even though it was still really good. And then Toy Story 3 was kind of like an actual sequel years later. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean with how it could be with second in the series, because Finding Dory was pretty bad. Cars 2 is where it went downhill.
Never watched it.
Yeah, I know. It's just...
Well, I watched Cars 3 recently. That actually wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Because it felt more like a sequel to Cars 1.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably watch it in theaters.
Yeah. It also says like the game will have like more supers than just the family.
Nice.
So I really hope there's like new characters that they've kind of mentioned before, like some of the the old heroes that are gone now.
Yeah, they
bring those in and you can play as them for the first time.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
'Cause I know there's Frozone and like Edna and stuff like that in it, but I think there's like actually other supers in the world.
Yeah.
Nice.
Quite a few.
I will say that the Daddy Incredible, his Lego looks terrifying. It's like big bulky body and then like just kind of creepy normal sized Lego head.
They don't make Legos like that. What are they doing?
Well, they have the big figs, but he looks different than those.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the neck, like the neckline, that makes it unsettling.
Yeah, there's just something about when you make a neck that's just real bad, it just pulls off the rest of the body just doesn't come together.
Yeah. Necks are important.
Yeah. It's the connection between mind and body.
Yep.
Well, let's move on to our last story of the day. Level 5 CEO says all future main titles to be released for Switch, Level 5 Vision for 2018 set for fall. So they're basically just coming out making an announcement that they're going to be releasing Switch games.
Well, they're more specifically saying that like all the stuff they've been creating for 3DS, they're shifting over to Switch.
Okay.
So it's just another sign that 3DS is finally dying, because all of the companies that had been working on 3DS games for years. Like Level 5's been probably one of the most prolific 3DS game developers across life. All their stuff is moving to Switch now. Like they're done with the 3DS, and that's huge.
Yeah. It says here the first game for the Switch is going to be the Snack World Treasures Gold.
You had me at snack.
Snake.
Snake.
I like a little snake every now and then. Yeah, I haven't heard of this. I think this is only in Japan. They haven't really said that's a US release date, but their future games are like the ones that you expect to come out for US would probably come out for US.
We'll probably get a new Professor Layton. I think there's actually a few still in Japan that haven't come here. So I can see those getting like HD re-releases for the first time in America on Switch. Yeah. I think Phoenix Wright is level 5.
Yep.
Ni no Kuni, which just came out, is level 5, but that's not going to be on Switch. That's why they said most. This isn't the best article, actually. It's not all future main titles. It's almost all future main titles, but still.
They're making the Switch.
And they're also saying that there's some stuff that they haven't even announced yet that will be coming to the system too.
Yeah. So there you go. There you have it. More Switch love.
Yeah.
Justin, where can people find you loving your Switch?
In my... Nope, I'm not going to do it.
It's okay. Keep them guessing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to know where I put those Joy-Con.
God.
I am on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all those good places as Zero Score. Just go there and find what I'm putting out. I talk too much.
Okay. Hello, where can people find your dumb stuff?
Well, y'all can all find me on Twitter at Nero the Hero. That's N3R0 THEH.
Okay, now you're just being offensive.
And you can find me on YouTube, Nero the Hero, all with letters. And as always, every week, you can find me here with the Charge Shot Boys.
And you can find me, your host, Thomas, on Twitter at CSG Thomas on Twitter. You can also find me here at charshot.com. Making fun voices is really fun.
Twitter.
And if you ever want to email me, my email address is thomas@charshot.com. And until then, guys, enjoy your games.
Twitter.
Twitter. Alright, stop. And a save.